Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a monster analysis on Rara Avis, the newest and latest magic mythic monster. After Wildbird was abandoned by Zenobia, he started a new life, fighting for justice, helping the weakest. The only thing that still tormented him was his loneliness. Everyone he helped and rescued was very grateful, but at the end of the day, he went back to his lonely day-to-day. One day, after he helped Saika when her cottage caught on fire, she thanked him and said, "I can see your deepest longing. Let me help you who've helped me." She took his hand and placed a honey-colored stone inside it. "Keep it close to your heart," she added as she bid him farewell. He did as Saika had told him, and he began to notice a tiny pink bubble forming over him. It got bigger by the day, and then suddenly, the bubble popped and a monster burst out of it. She had a beautiful beak, wonderful plumage, and a gigantic sword. How could Saika have made this miracle happen? It must have been the stone. The monster smiled and said, "Come on, don't stand there. I want to go on an adventure. Let's hit the road." And that is how Rara Avis came to be. Very cool. So I'm going to do something a little differently. I'm going to read the description of the monster first, and then I'll get into the actual analysis, because every time I've done the analysis first and then read the description, I pretty much restated what I already knew. So let's just get right into it. Rara Avis is a magic attacker with extra turn skills. Very nice. She can increase the amount of damage she deals by applying magic weakness, gaining damage boost, and precision. I wonder if she's going to have an extra damage... I wonder if she's going to have an extra turn skill that applies damage, magic weakness and then gives you an extra turn. Almost like a laser beam or something. With the right combo, she'll chain several attacks in a row, dealing tremendous amounts of damage. Rara Avis has an evolving trait. At rank 0, she's immune to curse. Oh my goodness, that is very interesting. I do believe this is the very first monster to be immune to curse, so we have ourselves a brand new trait. No monster other than Rara is immune to curse. Very cool. At rank 1, actually before I move on, let me just add that the fact that she has extra turn skills, plural, it is very good that she's immune to curse, because if not, curse is so deadly. If you're new to the game, what curse does, it basically takes away 10% of a monster's life and stamina on the first turn. On the second turn, it's 20% of life and stamina, and on the third turn, it's 40% of life and stamina. So it doubles every turn, with the max being the 40%. So if a monster has curse and has extra turn skills, if the monster does that extra turn skill, by the time they do their second turn, they already lost 30% of life and stamina. So curse is deadly, so having immunity to curse, super awesome, especially in the magic category, where there are quite a bit of monsters that can apply curse. She becomes immune to blind at rank 1. Immune to blind, how do I feel about that? Well, blind, minor blind, and total blind, I guess it is a counter to total blind, and because she does have, well, the thing about, like, since she has extra turn skills, the total blind isn't too much of a big deal. Like, most of the time when a monster total blinds you, it's only for one turn, so she could just do like yeah, I mean, it helps. It's better than not being immune to anything. Like, it's better than super attuned, come on. And at rank 3, she gives true vision to herself. Wow! So with true vision, that basically means you're gonna land your attacks. You are not gonna be missing. It's like she took the true vision from Charizard. She's like, "I'm the new magic mythic monster in here. Give me that." Alright, so cool. Right now, well, the trait is not incredible. The immunity to curse is interesting. I wouldn't say it's incredible. Immunity to torture would have been phenomenal, right? Especially in this world with these high tanky lived mythic monsters. Immunity to blind, I'll take that, and the true vision is nice just because you don't miss. I will say though, I do think this monster is going to have the highest power stat, but we shall see. So Rara Avis, let's jump right into the analysis. This monster has a life stat of 50,668. Wow, that is not a high life stat. That is actually the lowest life stat by around 3,000 points or 2,400. So prior to this monster having the lowest life stat, the other two mythic monsters that have the lowest life stat were Morgs and Froma with 53,081. So like I said, this monster with 50,000, this is officially the squishiest mythic monster. Moving on to power, we have 5808, which is definitely a high power stat. It's not the highest, it's the third highest. Currently, the monster with the highest power stat, the highest mythic monster, is Arumel, followed by Cyberel, the first two original mythic monsters. They are currently the ones with the highest power stat. And then we have a speed stat of 4752, and in terms of all the mythic monsters, this is like right in the middle of the two monsters I just named. It's faster than Cyberel, but slower than Arumel. So that's just that for context. The trait we talked about already, Curse, Blind, and Status Caster, True Vision. For relics, we have the sword and the armor. I mean, sword, obviously, right? She holds a big sword. She can deal extra damage if you have laser beam swords, Jakugan Sword, Cane Sword, whatever you have, extra damage output, and the armor, that helps her out, especially because she is squishy with that 50k life. In terms of books, she's in the Winged, Spirits, and the Female book. Alright, let's continue to the skills. Red Feathers deals low magic damage to all enemies, applies bleed to all enemies, 25 damage output, 1 turn cooldown, 19 stamina cost. It is magic based, so it's a low damage bleed skill. Bleed, by the way, it's also a damage over time skill. It also reduces the enemy's damage output by 20%. So I'm not a big fan of the skill. Let's see what else she has. Go Wild applies damage boost to itself, applies precision to itself. So it's just a setup skill. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. 3 turn cooldown, that is such a high cooldown for what this skill does. 13 stamina cost, that is low. Actually, I'm noticing this monster has low stamina cost. Very cool and unique for mythic monsters, but super high cooldown for just a setup skill. I don't understand, not a fan of it. Winged Slash deals heavy magic damage to an enemy, applies bleed to an enemy. Heavy being 45 damage, 2 turn cooldown, 16 stamina cost. Okay, single target, magic attack. Fairy Assault deals low magic damage to one enemy, applies magic weakness to one enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself. Ah, there we go. This is gonna be her trump card right here. Fairy Assault on a 3 turn cooldown. So you deal low magic damage first, and then you apply the magic weakness, and then you give yourself an extra turn. Okay, I'm liking it so far. So obviously this could set up, and then you can do your Red Feathers if you're running it, so you can AoE everyone and deal extra damage to that one monster, or most likely you just Wing Slash that monster that you made weak to magic attacks. I like that. I like that a lot. Tier 3 we have Feather Rain deals moderate special damage to all enemies, requires cooldown. So I will say it is nice that you have a special based attack, especially for those situations where maybe it is to your advantage to use a special based attack. But actually, the more I think about it, wait a minute, do you really need that? Because if you battle other magic monsters, at least you can apply the magic weakness, right? Well then again, I guess if you are facing anticipation, then you don't want to risk Fairy Assault giving an extra turn. So yeah, definitely nice to have a special based attack that you can utilize. And then we have Avis Dash. Deals moderate magic damage to one enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself. Ah, there we have our other extra turn skill. So already we are getting a mythic monster with 2 extra turn skills. And when we look at the mythic monsters that have anticipation, really there's only Miseris. And in my personal opinion, I don't think Miseris is that great when his anticipation triggers. Like the worst he can really do is remove your positive effects. Like that's it. Maybe he heals his allies. Like yeah, he doesn't even have cleansing or anything. So against mythic monsters, I will say she's definitely going to be very formidable because of the low magic damage, magic weakness, extra turn, and then moderate magic damage, extra turn. Because then you can follow up with an AoE, you can follow up with a single target attack, you can follow up with a special base attack if you want to. But that is deadly. So let's see how we can cycle with this monster, if we can even cycle. So gives 3 turn cooldown and 3 turn cooldown. So there's going to be no cycling. Because if you do Fairy Assault on turn 1, and then you do Avis Dash on turn 2, the Fairy Assault is still on a 2 turn cooldown, so then you get 1 more turn. So I think what majority of players are probably going to be doing, and I do like that this monster can kill not extra turn, she can kill a lot of monsters. First of all, Mega Taunt monsters are done. With the introduction of mythic monsters, they really can't do anything. If you're battling a Mephisto that has like level 10 life runes, if you're battling a Dunraw with level 10 life runes, any Mega Taunt monster, just the fact that you can blast them with your AoE attack, they're dead, right? One of the reasons Cyber is so good is because she has a skill called URCLU, which makes the enemy weak to metal attacks, and then she has a metal-based AoE. Well, Rara does the same. Fairy Assault makes the enemy weak to magic attacks, and then you can deal your magic-based AoE, and they're pretty much finished. So you are probably going to be running Red Feathers, because even though it's low magic damage, it ain't going to be low anymore when you have that Fairy Assault. So you're killing Megataunt monsters. If you're facing dodge area monsters, you can kill them too. So Fairy Assault's the dodge area monster, and then Dash, the dodge area monster, they're probably going to be dead. And then you can just single target with Wing Slash some other monster. And if you're strong enough, maybe you can OTK. Probably not, especially when it's actually a mythic versus mythic battle. But I guess if you do want to run Go Wild, you can use that turn to set up for your future attack or whatever. But overall, I mean, this monster is pretty straightforward. She's good. Like, she's in a world of just mythic versus mythic, she's good. Now, in a world of mythics versus mythics plus legendaries, you still have to deal with Hornets, you have to deal with Hukuai, you have to deal with Ragnarök. So, how feasible is she against those monsters? That's when it starts to get a little more complicated. Because if you're facing a Ragnarök, do you really want to use Fairy Assault? Like when I use Cyber Arrow versus a Ragnarök, I don't even want to use that skill because Ragnarök can Mega Freeze you, can Trade Disable you, can cooldown activate you, and this monster is susceptible to cooldowns activated, at least from the tier 1, 2, and 3 skills. He can stun you, so that is menacing, right? Even against a Hornet, Hornet can blind. Well, I guess you're immune to blind, but Hornet can like positive effect removal and all that stuff. So I don't know. I like the monster. In terms of just comparing to mythic monsters, she's definitely formidable. She's definitely strong, considering really her only threat is a Miseris who can't do much. She's definitely going to be quite a force to be reckoned with, for sure. In terms of her ultimate, Fierce Wings removes positive effects from one enemy, deals massive magic damage to an enemy, applies stun to all enemies. My goodness, fantastic, fantastic ultimate. You remove positive effects, you massive magic damage, and then everyone else gets stunned. So you target the dodge area monster. If that dodge area monster had evasion or whatever, doesn't matter. You remove it, you blast them with magic damage, and then you stun the allies. Fantastic ultimate, fantastic. Overall, like the monster. I mean, attacker, 2 strength, 1 speed. She does have a pretty fast. Well, no, not pretty fast. She is faster than Cyber Arrow. So if you got used to using Cyber Arrow, just know that this monster is faster than her. But the only difference is that Cyber Arrow was a team race monster, so you probably have that monster ranked up. Whereas Rara is one of the tail monsters, so ranking her up is probably going to be very difficult. And I don't know if you actually want to commit some Mythic Amber towards her. So the good thing is, if you aren't facing Anticipation, or you can deal with Anticipation, because it's easy enough to deal with Anticipation, if you just bring this monster and like 2 dodge area monsters, you're good to go. They'll absorb all of the attacks from the Anticipation monster. So you could potentially just utilize that team for a while. Rara plus Megataunt plus Megataunt, or Rara plus Taunt and a Megataunt. So there's definitely ways you can utilize it. Rara plus a Revival plus a Megataunt. There's a lot of different ways you can go about it. But I mean, yeah, 2 strength speed, she's going to be a pretty good monster. Even if you can get her, even unranked, ideally you want to get her to rank 1 for that blind immunity, for when you do deal with total blind. And that way you also aren't affected by blind. But yeah, I mean, pretty good monster, I would say. As far as the mythic monsters I've seen, she's definitely, first of all, incredible monster design. Great job, SocialPoint. But also one of the better ones I've seen, in my personal opinion. And with that being said, that is going to conclude this analysis. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about Rara? Is she worth getting? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much, and I will see you all next time.